There's a 1989 Evinrude Yachtwin, 6 horsepower. Pretty decent looking motor. I bought this motor purely out of curiosity. The guy listed this motor at $250, and he said that it was, what do you say now? It smoked under throttle. It smoked when you throttled, and it had a bad crank. I'm not sure how he came to that conclusion, but curiosity got me, so I had to buy it. So paid $250 for it. It's I mean, if it's a dud, it's worth every penny of that. These motors are, these bottom ends, they're already years ago I tried to find this bearing housing here, that little carrier there for the bearing and the seal, and that wasn't available years ago, and that list is just growing. So this whole bottom end is almost obsolete. They don't sell new parts for it. Well, they do, but they're limited, so you that alone is gonna be worth it for the parts. So I'm not sure for sure if this is an 89. Yeah, he's got the plugs off. I bought this about 3 weeks ago, and I set it out to the boneyard there to wait for me. I was on holidays, and I didn't have time for it, so I just had enough time to pick it up, and I'm only getting around to it now. So, but it looks like it's all there. So I'm going to do the full, full fax check type of thing. We'll run compression. It doesn't feel like it's got great compression, but it's a 6 too, so it's hard to tell. It's not going to have a ton of compression as a 6 anyway. The gear shift feels nice. Everything's super tight. Like, it's a decent motor. So if it does have a bad crank, it's a shame, because it's still a pretty good motor. It's got the the charging system and stuff in it. You can see all the, so that's decent. So let's get set up, and we'll go through it. We'll check for spark. I'm sure that it has spark, and we'll check that compression, and then we'll fire this thing up and see how bad the crank is. Okay, let's get these plugs. These loose plugs. Maybe that's why our compression is no good. Oh, look at that. Doesn't look terrible. A little juicy though. QL77 JC4. Okay, I'll give it 5 pulls. About 80 psi on the top. just a bit above 70. So they're close. That's good. We'll check spark. I had a guy comment on one of my videos. He talked about all the time wasted in, in checking compression, checking spark, checking all these things. If it runs, it runs, was a comment that he made. It's simple. So, I don't know. You can chase your tail all you want. I'm not, I'd rather check. You know what kind of compression, you got spark, you got, so you're not, a bad running motor and you're chasing your tail trying to figure out why it's bad. It's better to know what you got before you go into that. I've chased my tail long enough, so many times, that I just check everything. Even if it's a perfectly good motor, I check the compression, I check the spark, do a once over, do the facts check. For me, it works, so. See that? Oh, you know what? Don't know, but I don't know if you can see that. We got spark there. So we got spark top and bottom. So like I said, the guy said it ran, said it idled, and I'm not sure if he said it stalled when you throttled. He definitely, the ad said that it smoked, so I don't know what that means. I'm not sure how I'm gonna get this thing into a barrel. I think it's too long. I might have to drag the boat over and hang it off the boat. But I'll get it set up. We're gonna fire this thing up. Alright, got lucky. Fits in my tank, so we got her filled up. Let's fire it up and see choke. holy smokes. I don't know. There's definitely something wrong there. About 3/4 of the throttle, nothing happens, and then when you hit the end of it, then it starts to pick up RPM. So I don't know whether that's a carburetor issue or a fuel pump. Looks like somebody's been into the fuel pump. But so I guess all we can do is I don't have any parts for a fuel pump, but I can pull it apart and have a look at it and see how old it is. But I can clean the carb, so maybe that's what I'll do. I'll clean the carb out and we'll give it another. So there's a look. It's not exactly clean, so who knows what we'll find in there, but it doesn't look that bad. What I'll do is I'll do a separate video on this, and I won't even, I've stopped showing the cleaning. All I do is just clean it, put it all back together, and then I disassemble it, reassemble it. And I did that on one of my last videos, and it turned out pretty good. So everyone knows how to clean a carb. You clean it, right? So cleaning it is not what people want to see. I think they want to see what's inside, you know, where everything goes back together. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try that for a bit. So I'll come back and we'll reinstall that, and then we'll fire it up again and see what happens. Okay, I was just going through cleaning that carb, and I was messing with this and a couple of things. So you can feel all the play. You can hear it. All right, I'm just putting this carb back into the motor, and I've noticed something. You see where that throttle arm is? I'm going to turn my throttle. Right now I'm in an idle position. It's not touching, not touching, not touching. It starts to touch right there. So that's the problem that we're having. My 3/4 of the throttle is dead. And what I think has happened is this screw has worn into the plastic. So this plastic is actually further back than it should be. It should be somewhere in around here. You know, it should almost be instant. Once you turn, it starts to touch up against our throttle plate there. You can see. So hopefully I can get that fixed. I don't know if I'd have to put a longer screw in it or what I'm going to do, but I'm going to pull that back out and we'll take a look at it closer. Okay, that's exactly what's going on there. I don't know if you can see that little dimple. I think that little imprint is supposed to be in there, that dimpled part. I don't know if this screw is not long enough, because it was almost bottomed out. So hopefully I can fix that, but in the meantime, you can see while I was inspecting this screw, I managed to break this piece off. So just when I think that I'm getting somewhere with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to JB weld. I've never used this stuff before, but I have had it. I just found a use. So that's what I'll do. So I guess we're gonna wait for that to dry. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and put everything back together. I'll come up with some kind of a fix for this, temporary or permanent, not sure. But so hopefully that'll solve our throttle up problem, and maybe, I don't know, maybe this top end isn't that bad, or this crank seal. So who knows? All right, let's put the nail in this coffin. There was a brief time that I thought this motor might be okay, but I just edited the video and I could hear it through the headphones, and man, it didn't sound good. So you see I JB welded that piece there, so we'll see if it helped at all. It's a parts motor, there's no doubt in my mind. It's not going to be good for anything but that. So we'll fire it back up just to see one last time what it sounds like. Okay, I just checked that output for the charging system, and that seems to work too. So seems to be a pretty good motor, but it's just a shame that crank is like that, because it's not in that bad shape. But there's still a lot of good parts on that, so we'll either start selling parts, or I don't know, maybe I'll just off the whole thing. I'm not I used to strip them down and keep all the parts and store the parts, but I don't really do that much anymore. These motors are starting to get so old that, you know, people are looking for newer 4-strokes. This is a 30-year-old motor now. You know, even if somebody's looking for a used motor, they're looking for a 10-year-old motor, not 30 years old, you know. Not everybody anyway. Some people still like these old 2-strokes, like me. So alright, there she is. I'm gonna say that's for parts, but it's a good running motor. I'm shop deaf, so I can't hear. It sounds good right now to me, but when I listened to it in the with the earphones on, I thought, man, that doesn't sound very good. A bit clacky. So I'm not gonna take the chance. I don't want to sell that to somebody if it's gonna be a piece of junk. So I'd rather part that out or sell it as parts or whatever. If somebody wants to take on that project, they can. And so that'll be it. So with that, I appreciate you watching, and until next time.